Welcome back to the Magma Planet Start Challenge Episode 3. The link to the previous episodes are in the description if you haven't watched it. You can also find the mod link if you want to give it a try. The granite tiles on top of me is already showing the melting animations. It will fall on my ceiling at any time, so I should be prepared for it. But some of my bionics are idle now, so I will make them go to sleep to produce microchips. Oh wait, the granite tile already melted. It would be a bit painful if I have to sacrifice more room to dig that, since it blocks the dupe access to the right. I will try to expand the tile border outwards instead. We are creating more room by expanding, but that also made some hot tiles contact with the outside before we recreated the vacuum. So we'll have to build more tiles inside to deal with it. My Bionics somehow prefers to idle at the left, so they keep running back and forth. But it's probably not that bad, since they will not stay at the building site and get scalded too much. One advantage of Bionics over regular dupes in the early game is that every kind of booster will give them 2 points of athletics, and this is especially important when they are wounded and being slowed down. But now that I think of it, I have been using Bionics in most of my recent runs. Would you prefer to see some regular duplicate in challenges of speedruns? Please leave your comments below. Now the liquid lug is completed, we can start digging on the left. But we must be very careful not to allow the duplicates carrying any hot debris while passing the lug. Otherwise, the liquid will boil, the lug will break, the air will leak to the left side, and the base is cooked once again. However, there are still some ways to allow hot or cold debris passing through the liquid lug, and I will show you now. In this example, every room is initially vacuumed, and the left side has 1500 degrees sand, which we want to move to the right side. In the first room, we just simply move the debris through the liquid lug, and it is boiled immediately and everything is messed up. In the second room, we have a 3-tile head lug, also known as the vertical hop lug. This prevents duplicate from getting soggy feet or sopping wet above, but this still does not prevent boiling the lug. So, the first two ways are wrong. The other ways below are some possible good solutions. In the third room, we use a conveyor bridge to skip the liquid lug, and it works. And let's remove the bionics on top to stop them suffering. The fourth room is simply a bigger liquid pool with much higher thermal capacity buffer. Although this makes the duplicates sopping wet, it can still stay as water as long as you don't bring too many hot or cold things through it. final way is to use properly placed storage bin and make duplicate pass the material while not standing directly on the liquid lock. The duplicants will be able to teleport the debris through the lock just like the conveyor bridge. Alright, let's get back to the challenge colony. And please subscribe to me if you like the video. Because the space we have is really small, so for the sake of challenge, I decided to not use infinite storage. Therefore, when I'm digging the bottom left, I'm planning to create a big room so when I dig into the magma, the hole will be big enough to hold the falling magma. Also, I'll need some obsidian to build tiles inside magma. The obsidian near my base is outside of the vacuum insulation border, and I don't really want to open it up. The vacuum border tiles on top is having too much hot debris on it, and even with the cooling loop, it's taking too much time. So I decided to create a new layer of vacuum. I was hoping to not use insulated tiles to save as much dirt as I can, but depending on our progress, I might still have to research it later. With this little room to build, it is kind of challenging to fit the buildings we want. The new room we just did on the left is vacuum, so we couldn't build anything there that would make heat. I will have to move my old buildings around to fit new ones. I'm building a rocket platform soon, so I'll need a rock crusher for 800 kilograms of refined metals. There's not really enough niobium on the left for that, otherwise a niobium rocket platform would sound really cool. I am now digging down to get more basic resources like algae and copper ore. A new bionic are born with 10 cycles of gear oil, and 1 full gear bomb for another 4 cycles. Therefore, cycle 14 is really the deadline for me to make new gear bomb for them. I will have to make an apothecary and medical booster. There's so much magma and obsidian sitting on top of my base, and there's really not much easy way out. I will have to drain a lot of the magma to get out. The heat is getting near my printing pod, so I have to continue the tile cooling loop to neutralize them. The hatch is jumping randomly in my base. Maybe I could have killed it to prevent it eating my dirt, but it's also kind of an accomplishment watching this little critter being safe when we're starting next to magma. I'm kinda proud that the hatch has never been scouted. More tiles are melting on the top right side, but this looks fine. Here I made a mistake. I shouldn't have digged this abyssalite and exposed the hot abyssalite directly to the water. Although abyssalite tiles appears to have zero conductivity, it is actually non-zero and it will flood the water, which is a special mechanic in this game that could boil 5 kilograms of liquid directly without having to heat up the entire pool of water first. I rebuilt a couple of tiles there to stop the flocking immediately. I was digging this water pool because I was thinking how to get rid of the top left water pool so I can vacuum and dig up into the magma. But I guess there's not enough room here unless I want to make all the water drop to the very bottom. This new fallen tile has made my interior over 200 degrees. I have to fix it as fast as I can. Look like Every new fallen tile is bringing more and more heat into the base. My bionics are already complaining about low gear oil. Luckily, the medical booster is also finished, so we can start the gear bomb production now. The heat on the right seems a bit too much. I have to create new vacuum to stop it. And I could have used multiple schedules for the bionics and have only one outhouse. But for this run, I prefer to have them work together to finish their jobs on dangerous worksite as fast as possible, and to have more outhouses buffer to reduce the risk of them expelling gunk on very undesired places. I have made room for a rocket platform and a solo spacefarer nose cone. It is possible to build the nose cone directly without having any engines. I made a gas pump because I want to have a little atmosphere inside the nose cone, so the building inside will not overheat. Here I am building the telescope. Telescope usually needs line of sight to space in order to operate. However, in spaced out, telescope built inside a rocket can always operate, no matter if it's in surface or inside my base, below all those magma. I'm using the power discharger, which is the new building for the Bionics DLC, to convert the metal power banks into power for telescope operation. It's especially convenient if you want to fit a telescope in a solo spacefarer nose cone in an actual launching rocket. In that case, a manual generator is a pain to feed because you also need the rocket control station. Now we can finally start scouting the star map and find the target we are escaping to. This rocket is only made for the telescope scouting. Once I find the target, I will destroy the rocket to recover the resources and the room. The tiles on the vacuum border is already 500 degrees. I am pretty much abandoning the space top of printing pod for now. As long as the heat doesn't expand further to the left, I could still be fine. You cannot really assign the order of the telescope, so I will have to scout almost every hex inside the 3 hex radius to reveal a planet 3 hex away. Now the scouting is almost done. In the next video, I will start draining the magma. The shape on top doesn't really allow safe diagonal building, so it will be another dangerous and risky maneuver. Finally, I have scouted Desolance, our escape target and my favorite planet. Thanks for watching.